The G spot. I'd hit that.
Welcome to the G Spot podcast. My name's Rachel Bradshaw and I'm the black belt in Jiu-Jitsu.
That was so good. Hi, I'm Kaz. I am a purple belt with one stripe.
Congratulations. I knew that we'd be talking about that today. And
I don't care what anybody says. It's worth it.
I am so happy for you. You worked hard for that, man.
I did. I was thinking about that the other day and I was talking with some people on the mats that had come up and said congratulations. And, do you know, and we laugh about it, right? 14 months. But I don't think I've ever had a bigger 14 months in my life.
Oh, you've been through some things in this last 14 months.
Right.
And the G Spot podcast has been here for the entire journey.
Yeah,
really.
Thanks for hanging in there with me, everyone.
Because everything that kind of went south, you just gotten your purple belt when our first episode went to air because we talked about it and it'd only been like a few weeks before that.
Yeah.
And then through that journey you hurt your neck and then you went into surgeries and then you had a second surgery and then you've had your rehab and coming back.
Came back too hard, too fast and then had to take 3 steps back again.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
It has. And like you wrote me the message the other day going, you know, so many others would have quit. Like for everything to get to purple belt, a lot of people go, oh, purple belt's a really good innings. Like, and it was, you're right. Like I got my purple belt in April and then in April my arm gave out because of my neck. And so it, you know, I was declining as we were going through, physically declining and coming back, there was always that fear in the back of my head. And it took me months and months and months to acknowledge the fear. I would just wrap it up in my head and say, I'm rehabbing. That's why I'm going slow, or that's why I've just got my little tight circle that I will roll with and everything. And it took ages for me to go, oh no, I'm just really frightened of fucking this up and going backwards.
Yep.
And
I think that's fair enough. Like it's a neck and spine surgery is not a tiny thing. No. It's not like, you know, you dislocated a pinky toe or do you know what I mean? Like it's really significant. And I think a lot of people, and I know people who have had what you've had or less in their neck, quit jiu-jitsu. Black belts that have quit and walked away and gone, I can't do this anymore. Like my neck's stuffed. And you didn't. And that's what I wrote to you in that message. Like it would have been really easy to go, you know, I'm in my 50s. I've had this scare. Recovery's been a bitch. I don't want to risk it. And if you wanted to, no one would have questioned your walking away from it, but you didn't, and you persevered and you stayed resilient and you were like, I really want this. Which is, wow, what a turnaround.
I know. And that's why that first stripe meant so much. Because it's, you know, and I wrote about this. I put the post up saying that I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Belts and stripes, they are how my brain works. You know, I went to school and I had to do exams. I went to work and I had critical timelines and I had benchmarks and I had goals and things that I had to achieve. That's how I feed. That's what keeps me going. And so belts and stripes do mean a lot to me in that regard because it is that acknowledgement outside of my own messed up headspace of somebody else that's smarter in the space saying, yes, you're doing okay.
Yeah. You're on the path.
That's right. And it's not comparing against anybody else. Like I said, you know, there's a bunch of blue belts in the gym that can kick my ass and all the rest of it. So it's not about that. It's about me and am I progressing forward for me. So it did. It meant a lot. And it was the first time that I had been through quite as much physically as well as mentally and emotionally. And there be such a big time lapse between. Yeah, and somebody was laughing the other day going, you know, Kaz, realistically, in fairness, you haven't been on the mats for 14 months. They're not wrong, but it was really only 3 months like, even though I wasn't rolling, I was still coming into the gym and I was still sitting on the mats and I was still being a part of it. So, you know, it wasn't that big a time that I was completely removed. And the time that I was removed, I was like a cat in a cage. It was not fun. So no, it's good. Yeah. So I'm Kaz Page and I'm purple belt with one stripe. There's my retro.
So good.
Yay.
And there's something else different about us today.
I know, right? We don't have big heads.
Well, we still probably have big heads, but we're not wearing our earphones today.
Yeah.
We're able to have our hair out and be a little freer, and it was just sort of something that we were like, let's give this a whirl. And see.
So if you can't hear us, people, don't fret. Neither we can't hear us either. So we have no idea if it's working or not. We'll find out when producer Matt tells us put your headphones on or not.
Or get closer to the mic.
But it does mean, so we're going to do a big shout out to Chantel, right? Because she does both our hair.
Yeah.
And it looks beautiful. It does. With no headphones around it.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
so today, what are we talking about today, Miss Rachel?
Well, we're doing a retro today.
Yeah.
So, as everyone knows, because we talked about it in the lead up, and then we even missed a week because we were down an episode because I left you.
Yeah, you did. You deserted me.
I walked away for a couple of weeks. I went to the States and with Grant for our 20-year wedding anniversary.
I'll always be number 2.
Oh, and well, I'm number 2 to you as well. So, not a number 2.
No. Not even. No. Okay. But yes, you went to America and you had an amazing time.
We had an absolute ball. We trained heaps over there, and that's what we will talk a little bit about that today and my experiences. And you've been over there and you've trained for like 6 months across the US. So we thought we'd sort of have a bit of a discussion because we've brought some things back that have changed up or what we've seen over there. And we thought that's a really good idea. We're going to steal a little from here and steal a little from there and bring it all back and try and make our students' experience on the mats back at Iconic as best as it can be. And this is something we've always done. But yeah, I thought we'd sort of talk about the experience.
I will say, and you know, I don't know if most people are like this or not, but for everything you guys bring to the table when we're in class, there is never a, oh, look, I'm just going to teach you this because this is great. There is everything that you and Grant teach, it's always with credit back to the person who taught you. So, you know, you guys have been back a few days now. We've been into a few classes. Grant's been sharing knowledge-based information and such. And it's always, you know, when I was in this gym with this person, I got this. And when I was in this gym with this person, I got that.
Yeah.
Which is huge. I think that's awesome that you're not only sharing the knowledge, but you're also sharing the credit with where it comes from. And so people start to hear different names and, you know, start to learn a little bit more outside of just where they come to every week as well.
Oh,
I think that's important.
You know, there's times when I teach stuff on the mats that I'm like, I will say, and when I teach in this way, I will actually go, this is not something I've ever been taught. It's just something I've worked out, but please don't think I invented it. Like, I'm sure this exists somewhere from someone else. Like, so I'll never take credit for anything or claim that I've made this move up or anything like that. There's plenty of that out there, and full credit to the people that do come up with interesting new ways to do this or that. But I think, you know, we talk about it quite often on the mats, that if you go back to like the Roman days with the wrestlers and the, you know, writing on the wall and all those sort of stuff, the what do you call it on the tablets, the drawings.
Oh,
do you know what I'm saying? Hieroglyphics and things like that. You'll see wrestling moves.
Yeah.
You know, so how far back do we go to
caveman
to claim credit? Like you watch animals in nature and they wrestle, you know. So it's just part of our DNA as the human experience that this is what we're going to do. Now, we've worked out more efficient ways of doing it, and even in my limited time on the mats, being, you know, 14 years, things have evolved and new ways of doing certain moves have come in. But, you know, in another 10 years, it's going to be different again. And then someone will say, oh, I invented this new way. And the people that have been here long enough will go, well, actually, back in the 90s, we used to do it that way. It's only just gone through full, evolution back to what it was. So
how scary that back in the 90s is already a way away thing.
Oh,
That
my son said
frightens
something
me.
scary to me the other day. And he was like, we're closer to 2050 than we are to 2000.
Oh. That's sad.
It is.
It's so sad for
Do you know
me,
what one of the
old
coolest
folk.
things about being in America was? Seeing like real life Back to the Future stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I was talking to Matt about this yesterday. There are cars that don't have drivers.
Oh. Over there.
Over there.
Oh, see, no, that's
They're like Uber cars. They're like rideshare cars,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That are completely like driverless.
Yep,
and
no.
so you've got people sitting in the back seat and no driver in the front seat.
No, see, that just scares the shit out of me. That's just, no, I am way too much of a control freak. Hands on the steering wheel, please.
It was insane.
Did you get in one?
No.
Oh.
But the first one I saw, we pulled up behind it in at traffic lights, and of course we're on the wrong side of the road, the right side of the road, but the wrong side for us. And it was in front of us, and I took a photo of it and actually put it up on my story going, what is this Back to the Future car? Because it's got like a 360 kind of whirlybird camera on top, and it's got all these, things that are sort of sticking out of it. And I had no idea what this car was. And it took us a couple of days to kind of work out that, oh, there's actually no driver in those cars, and we're seeing them quite a bit.
Yeah.
They are those driverless.
I like your Uber driver, Uber robot. Your Uber Eats robot that you
Oh,
put a
yeah, and
picture
I put
Yeah,
that up
they've
as
got
well.
there, yeah.
So
See,
we're walking down Hollywood and this like little cart starts walking next to us, and we're like looking around going, there's no one with a remote to this thing. And it was like, and then we started reading it and it says, I'm on my way to a delivery. And, and we're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
You get that this is all replacing humans though, right?
I do, but it was like Back to the Future franchise was my favorite show. That and Indiana Jones, right? So one's like back a little bit and one's forward a lot. And, it's the whole thing like, by now we expected more. We expected in flying cars and hoverboards and crazy clothes. And in fact, like our clothes look more 90s than ever before. And we're still driving cars. And oh my God, I saw this. Sorry, I'm so hyper today, but I'm so excited. I saw this funny meme that went, these are flying cars, but everyone inside is too fat. They're on the ground. And then she hops out, it's a cartoon, and she's like quite overweight. And then her car goes, whew! And she's like, my baby. It was funny. Anyway. It was a little skit I saw on Instagram. But yeah, like, where are our flying cars? I want flying cars.
I'm pretty sure they already exist somewhere in a pilot mode somewhere. No
I'm
doubt.
sure they do.
I reckon they do for
Probably
sure.
Elon Musk is
he's got
inventing it.
He's got it
as we speak.
hidden away. And if not him, somebody else out there knows of him, let us know.
So that was one thing that that was like, whoa, when I went over there.
Because you've not been to America before.
Never before.
So this is your first time.
Yeah, so I'm like a kid in a candy store, right? Speaking of candy stores, advertising is wild.
Yes.
Absolutely wild over in America. Like when we were watching TV and the ads came on and it's like advertisements for all these medications and you're like, this medication's for this, but please see your doctor if you exhibit, suicidal tendencies or sudden like bleeding from the mouth or eyes.
So they have they say they have a 45-second ad, right? 15 seconds of that is about the product, and then 30 seconds, the remaining 30 seconds is all the
side effects,
the side effects disclosure thing. And for all those in America listening, if you've not been to Australia, it's important to understand we are so far behind the times down here in quite a number of aspects. But our ads literally just go, well, we don't have a lot of we don't have pharmaceutical ads.
No,
in
and it
Australia.
actually made me realize this is why you hear about big pharma a lot from American TV shows, American movies, that sort of thing, because and it's not something we're bombarded with over here. In fact, I think there's probably laws against it. You can't advertise stuff like that.
Yeah. So they advertise like grade 1 type pharmaceuticals, so your Panadols, your Nurofen,
Yeah.
your ibuprofen, that kind of stuff. We'll see ads for that, for hay fever.
Over-the-counter medicine.
Over the counter, yep. So level 1, over the counter medication. But even on, even on those ads, there's no side effects to it. There's just see your doctor if pain persists.
Yeah.
That's the catchphrase.
That's the catchphrase.
See your doctor if pain persists.
So that was wild. And then also like things that aren't allowed in Australia, like there's a candy store. And on the side of this candy store, and I think this was at Universal Studios, there's a picture of a lady holding a salad and this like screwed up face going, healthy food, yuck. And then the one below her eating candy going, get some sugar into you. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like that there's laws against advertising like that in Australia. So it was just that sort of little things that jumped out at me as
it's
major
complete. It's night and day,
culture
right?
shock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And everything in America is big. I
Yes.
find that too. Serving sizes are big. Going into shops is huge. Like they don't just have a Westfield here. All the shopping centres we ever went into are massive. And
Like our like Pac Fair up in it's like
on the
that,
Gold Coast,
which is like known as one of our biggest shopping centres.
Yep.
That's pretty standard for a shopping centre over in
that's
America.
it. Yeah, very much so.
Amazing.
Shopping is amazing over there. So back to jiu-jitsu though. You mentioned last week that you rolled the first week and then holidayed the second week.
More or less. Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second. And you also said that there is a number of things that you've brought back.
Yes.
Like little bits from here, little bits from there. So let's just talk about that first.
Okay.
What are the 5 couple of things that are really going to be significant?
The 5 couple of things?
Yeah, I know. It did not make sense.
The 52 things.
Yeah. What are some things
Yes.
that you're going to implement into the gym that you think are like big impact?
Yeah,
things?
so one of the biggest things that we noticed in the gyms that we visited was that I'm not going to say this is across the board, but the ones that we happened to visit, and they ranged from being quite more conservative to more liberal gyms, right? Nobody bowed out at the end of class.
Yeah.
And that, to me, like everywhere that we've visited in Australia tends to bow out at the end of class. So
Irrelevant of franchise.
yeah,
too.
and so we've always done it too.
Yeah.
But over in America, the ones that we visited, most of them finished with like a bit of a stretch cool down.
Yep.
And in fact, because we were training sort of almost back-to-back sessions for a period of days, made us feel so much better at the end of it. And we slept better that night. We felt better the next morning. And we're like, that's pretty key. So
it changed from where we are today at Iconic, or yesterday, let's say.
Yep.
We would get to the end of all of our rolls. So we do an hour of drilling, then we do an hour of rolling,
and
then we'll all line up in a line at the end, bow out and go
shake everyone's
hands and walk
it was
off.
quite a formal end to the night.
Yep.
And not everyone would participate because some people would have to leave early or whatever, and we never, force anyone to stay the full hour of rolling. But those that stuck it through to the end, that's how we'd finish our nights. And Grant would, have a little couple of words to say or a little speech or whatever, and we were like, this is really cool, just sitting, stretching, having a bit of a chat, not being so formal. That way, if Grant needs to say something or share some information at the end, he can do, or we can just sit around and have a little talk while we stretch through the movements. And then rather than everyone shaking each other's hand, we just sort of like 1, 2, 3, clap the mat. And then everyone gets up. And if they want to shake each other's hands, they can, or they can just walk off and get their stuff and go.
It was funny the other night when the rolls came to the end and Grant and you and a couple of the other seniors sat down and started stretching, and a lot of other people, they just weren't quite sure what to do. And so it ended up being this big circle and Grant just sitting there going, okay, so everybody stretch or don't stretch and just stare at me, whatever, be you. It's like, okay, people, there is benefit to this.
Yeah.
Stretch.
Yeah. Definitely stretch. Use the time. There was only one gym that we went to that they didn't stretch afterwards, but they did put us through a workout, and that was hilarious and fun. And we won't be doing that.
What did they do? They put you through a workout?
Yeah. So at Surf Fight we went, which was an amazing gym, and it's.
So where are they?
I knew you were going to ask me that. So one thing I haven't actually written down. Give me 1 second.
That's okay.
Keep talking.
Did you train in Vegas or did you just train in California?
No. So we did not train in Vegas. Vegas was the beginning of our relaxation holiday.
Vegas was Rachel's holiday.
It was. Del Mar, down south of Torrance.
Okay, so still in California.
Yeah. Still in California.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And we'll talk more about that gym as we get to it. But yeah, at the end of the rolling session, they would sort of start a sit-up workout, and like sit-ups like everything. So you do like 100 of this sort of sit-up and then 100 of this sort of sit-up.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
There was lots of
I
sit-ups.
wouldn't be able to walk the next day.
My abs really felt
Yeah,
it.
I
It
bet.
was good.
Oh, man. Okay, so the stretching at the end of class, at the end of rolls, I like that because we talked to J-Mac, right? And one of the big things he talks about is stretching when you're sitting there watching.
When you're already warm.
When you're watching in between drilling.
That's right, yes.
Stretching while you're watching the next technique being taught because you're keeping your muscles pliable and blood flowing through them and everything. So I've certainly tried to do a lot of that now. I try and remember to stretch every time I'm sitting down watching the next drill or the next move being taught.
Yep.
So what else?
So there was another thing that we sort of started to try, but our guys and girls are so ingrained in what they do that it failed. And then we tried again and it failed, and we tried again and it failed. So it'll be interesting to see whether we keep trying.
You've been trying this since you've been back?
We've been trying this one little thing, and since we've been back, and it keeps failing.
What is it?
So it's really funny. So when we went to Gracie University, so that's in Torrance, and it's a huge gym and it's beautiful, and we'll talk more about that. But one of the things we really liked was that, here on Gracie started the class and everyone was lined up against the wall. So that was the interesting thing, because at our gym, when you walk in, you log into the system. It's electronic. At Gracie University, you have cards, and the black belt assistant instructor will come and collect all the cards off you, and you're standing there and he'll teach the first technique. Then you go to your spot on the mat, you do the technique, and then he just starts teaching again, and he'll be in a different spot, and no one moves, no one goes back to the wall or huddles around. You just sit there and you can see what's happening, and it's a huge mat. And then he'll teach over there, and then he'll come over here and he'll teach something else, and he'll come over here and teach something. And if you need to get up and move, you can, but mostly you've got a fairly good shot of him and can hear him, and it seemed to work really well. It also saved time on people moving.
Yep.
So people weren't getting up, walking over, sitting down, him teaching, getting up, walking back, sitting down. Like there's wasted time with that. So when we came back, Grant was like, all right, we're going to try this. And we left the music on very low because we wanted a hum throughout. And one of the first things, so Grant sort of moved and he's turned the music down, and our guys and girls are so accustomed to when that music gets turned down or off, everyone stops drilling, stands up and goes and sits back down.
Yep.
And we left it on purpose, and one of the students turned the music off. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption here. We just wanted to shout out to all our Central Coast and New South Wales listeners. One of our great mates has started a new business, Central Coast Supplements.
Damien's a great guy who also happens to be a veteran. And as you guys know, My Broken Productions and Iconic are huge supporters of our veterans and first responders. So we'd love to see you guys get behind this awesome new business.
If you're looking for protein supplements, healthy snacks for the kids, or just all-round better health options for the family, check out Damien's website, centralcoastsupplements.com.au.
And guys, make sure you remember to use the discount code GISPOT. That's GI space SPOT. GISPOT at the checkout. Now, where were we, Rach? That's funny.
And then, so what's ended up happening is that everyone's just sitting where they should be sitting because, I mean, Grant's pretty funny too, and he's a bit of a stickler for when he gets into a rhythm, like how he likes things to be. So the poor students had to suffer through a little bit when he decided that this is the new way we were sitting on the mats about 6 months ago, and got picked on if they sat anywhere different. So now they all sit there very, very good and in the right spot. And they've all just moved there, and anyway.
And he's trying to change it,
and he's trying to change it without actually saying, all right, don't move. But it's really interesting because when Grant would teach like a move and then has something to add, that's more like how it is. You know, when he goes, hang on, just hold there for a minute. Let me show you this extra thing. Everyone stays in their position and he teaches. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
But when it comes time for the new technique, everyone's just so accustomed now
Up,
in our
move.
gym. Up, move, sit, watch, up, move, sit, go do your techniques. So,
So what do you think you're going to do? Are you going to persist with
I
it?
don't know. We'll see.
See if you can swing
It's
the
been
pendulum.
a funny experiment, and you now that you know, and because this episode takes a week to come to air, you'll notice this tomorrow night and see and just
I'll
watch.
have so much fun.
You'll have a giggle, no doubt.
And then everybody retrospectively that are listening to it from Iconic will be going, that's what they were laughing
That's
at.
what they were
Right,
giggling
okay,
at. That's what
makes
Kaz
sense.
lost her shit over.
Yay, I'm in the joke first. Woohoo!
So that was another thing. What else was there? We really liked it at Centerline Gym. They've got like a bucket full of like...
For vomiting?
No, but that's a good idea. We've got a drain out the front. It's been utilised a couple of times.
Used it.
No, where you actually like you step into and it's got like disinfectant in the bottom.
Oh, wow.
And then you step onto a towel before
Yeah,
stepping on the mats. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting, Grant. And Grant was like, oh, I've always thought that was a good idea. So, well, we haven't done anything about that yet, but not a bad idea. Definitely a way to keep the mats cleaner.
Yeah.
Just trying to think what else there was. I was wondering what that noise was, and it's Buddy.
Oh, I've got my puppy dog in the room with us
he's
for
like
anyone
having
who's
a little
wondering.
like
Buddy,
dream.
stop licking.
No, he's dreaming. I
Oh,
think
is he?
he's doing that
Oh.
whole. Ooh.
He's become my little.
He's
what are they
chasing
called?
bones.
Therapy dogs. He comes with me everywhere.
There was probably a couple of other things, but nothing that come to mind right now. So
Okay, so let's talk about Gracie University.
okay,
What was that like?
that was incredible. Gracie,
Whose bucket list was that on?
that's my bucket list.
Okay.
Grant's been there. So he's done Gracie University when they went over for their black belts. It was at a different location, but similar vibe, similar setup, that sort of thing. A phenomenal building. Absolutely amazing. The whole building is Gracie University.
Yeah.
You walk in, there's a reception that's probably as big as our weights room. That's just reception. So you walk in, they've got a whole like store, they've got their reception desk, they've got sign-in area, and you walk in and there's like 2 or 3 staff on at the reception desk, and you're like, and they're like, welcome, come on over here. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like I'm the receptionist.
Your
at
HR,
Iconic.
management, login,
Coach,
everything.
assistant. I'm all of that. No, this is a facility.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And do they just run classes all day, every day?
I think so. I think they have a really full timetable. So we went on, I believe it was like Friday night, not thinking for a sec. Hannah and here on Gracie own it, run it, but they have a lot of black belts that take classes. And when I sent them a message asking, I'd really love to, if we could learn from Hannah or Huron, can you tell me when they're coaching? The reply was, we don't know. So you just have to turn up and hope for the best, or all of our other black belt instructors are amazing. You'll have a great time regardless. So I was like resigned to the fact that, all right, we're probably not going to have them as instructors, but I really wanted to go and see the facility. So we got there. I bought a gi. We changed, beautiful change rooms, like amazing lockers down one whole wall, flowers, white, beautiful showers, toilet, like it's just pristine. And then you walk out of there, and then they've got like this hallway that's got images, profiles of each black belt instructor, and it's just next level amazing.
And things like that, like when you walk into a gym, change rooms and toilets and hygiene and presentation, they make a really big difference.
They do, don't they?
They really can make or break the experience as well, because if you walk in and it's a little bit off, or it's not quite, up to scratch hygienically or anything like that, that, I don't know about you, but that gets straight into my head.
Yep.
And that's where it sits the whole time I'm there. Like,
remind me to tell you the hygiene of how they clean the mats at the end, because I'll get there, but I don't want to forget that part. Yep. So, all right, so we're standing there, and they've got like these viewing windows, and we've looked in, and the class before us was just finishing, and here on Gracie was teaching.
Aww.
And Grant was like, did you just see who's on the mats? And I'm like, oh no, I hadn't even looked. I was just looking at all these like black belts up on the wall. And I looked in, I was like, oh, I wonder. So anyway, we've walked in and we've joined the Master Cycle class. So they've got all different programs that they do. They have like a women's empowered program and a Gracie Combatives program, which is like their white to blue belt level program. Then their Master Cycle is like blue belt and above. So it's like their advanced class. And so that's the one we joined. And yeah, we were so lucky to learn from here on. And I know from what he puts online, I've never met him before. I've met Henna before, but everything that he puts online is so particular and technical and just next level in the understanding of how jiu-jitsu works. And in the first 30 seconds of that class, I picked up an absolute gem.
Oh, wow.
That I was like, wow. And I'm elbowing Grant in the rib. I'm like, that was awesome. Anyway, so from there on, it just got better and better. And
so do they have like a shit ton of walk-ins come through?
I would say they probably do. Yeah. I would say that they're a destination academy. Like if you're traveling, that would be, and you know anything about or are affiliated with the Gracies or Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, that's probably Mecca.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely somewhere that you'd want to go and visit.
And did you get to go up and meet him and say thanks for the class?
Oh, absolutely. Came up to us straight away.
Cool.
I said to someone the other day, like when you walk in and you are a husband and wife, both with black belts, you kind of stand out. Yeah. And then when you speak and you have an Australian accent, you kind of stand out. So we were welcomed beautifully. Everywhere we trained, we were just made to feel so welcome, and it was an amazing experience as that was concerned. But he came up to us and had a chat, and obviously, we know Luke and Angela, they're our coaches, and Angela is his cousin. Yeah. So we had a conversation about that, and it was really cool. I got to roll with him, which was quite an experience. I just felt like a white belt again. Very, very technical, but showed me a couple of things, very giving and lovely in the roles as well. So, beautiful experience. I highly recommend. So that was the Friday night. Saturday we went back because Richard Bresler passed away. If you don't know that name, look him up. He's one of I think he was Horian's first black belt. So first American black belt. He's written a book called Worth Defending. And when I was coming up to getting my black belt and I was having my self-doubt, that book was recommended to me by both Grant and Luke and said, read this book. This will just change your perspective on where you sit in jiu-jitsu and how you should be looking at this and what your worth is. Highly recommend that book. It's beautifully written. It is... it's a nod to history. So there's so much in it that will tell you about the history of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, he was very dedicated to the history and the life force of it. And, where it originated from. I did some reading on him when they were showing a photo of him in hospital.
Yes.
And they had put up that they had promoted him just before.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I did a bit of a deep dive because I wanted to know more about him.
So when I read his book, and he apparently, from everything that I learnt about him that day, because it was a memorial open mat for him, when I read his book years ago, I really liked it, and I sent him a friend request on Facebook, and not expecting for a second he'd accept it, but he did straight away. And I sent him a message going, I really loved your book, and he just replied. And that was the kind of guy he was. Yeah. He was very humble, very beautiful, wanted to be, he was very open and honest and welcoming, and just by all accounts and everything that we heard about him on Saturday was just that he was just a very special person to have in your life, and it was a real honor to be able to be a part of that, and hear everyone that knew him personally talk about him and how they changed, how he influenced and was a positive change in people's lives. So
just say, what was that book called again?
Worth Defending.
Okay, so for anyone that's interested, go and have a read.
Definitely read it. It's probably that and Breathe by Hicks and Gracie, my two favourite jiu-jitsu books that I've ever read.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Okay, so that's Gracie University. Did you go back again?
I did. So on the Sunday, I was like, I can't get enough. They all week had been advertising a women's empowered seminar. Mm-hmm. Free, just register, come along. Obviously, it's designed to get women through the door, to teach them the first lesson of their Women's Empowered program, and then to sort of hopefully let it stick and get them on board to training jiu-jitsu. So I kind of went back a bit incognito. So because there was no gi, there's no belt, it was T-shirt and tights. Yeah, so just like gym wear. I've walked in, I've registered, I've walked in, and I've sat down. And Henna, I know, I've met him once before, and then I met him again at the Richard Bresler thing. So Australian accent, female black belt. I'm going to be kind of a little bit sticking out. So he walked in and he's like, who's traveled the furthest to be here today? And I had just been speaking to someone, and of course my accent sticks out. It's like a sore thumb. So that girl's punched me and gone, tell them where you're from. And I sort of put my hand up. I went, Australia. And he's like, welcome. And I knew straight away he recognized me from the day before. And anyway, but to everyone else in the room, I was very incognito. So I got partnered up with this beautiful girl called Romy. And she was an absolute delight to train with for the session. And I was just acting dumb. Not dumb. I wasn't acting like I didn't know the stuff, but I was just acting like, okay, I'm learning this and I'm doing it with you, and that's what we're doing. Until my T-shirt slipped up a little bit. And I have a tattoo on my inner bicep here that's like...
the heartbeat?
Yeah, like the heartbeat, and it spells out jiu-jitsu. And she had tattoos all over her. And she spotted it straight away. And she's like, oh, what's that tattoo? And I was like, it says jiu-jitsu. And she's like, and you could see like the brain like churning over going, do you do jiu-jitsu?
Uh-oh.
Like, why do you have this jiu-jitsu tattoo if this is your first time? I was like, I actually do train jiu-jitsu. And she's like, oh, do you go here? And I went, no, I'm, or maybe she didn't ask that. I can't remember. But anyway, she says, how long you've been training for? And I went, about 14 years. And she's just looked at me and I went, I'm a black belt and I'm from Australia and I have my own academy. And her face went kind of blank, and I was like, is she going to hate me? Like, what reaction am I going to get? And then she just burst into this massive grin and she was like, I'm the luckiest person here today. I get to train with a black belt. So she took it beautifully, God love her, and she was an absolute joy.
And does she train in jiu-jitsu? Like, do you know?
Was her first session. It was her first session, and Victoria Gracie came over a couple of times to help us.
Yep.
And the first time she didn't know. The second time she did, but she kept it quiet. The third time she's like hitting me going, Rachel, you've got to tell her. You've got to tell her. And I said to Victoria, I was like, oh, I'm a black belt and I train and I have my own academy. And she's like, wow, welcome. Are you having fun? and honestly, she's such a beautiful human.
So who's this?
Victoria Gracie.
Okay, yeah.
She is Huron's wife.
Okay.
What an amazing human she is. She is so warm and just authentic, and I could not say enough nice things about that woman.
Oh, nice.
For the limited interactions I had of her, but what I observed in the room, how she coached and how she spoke to people, and from the day before at the Richard Bresler memorial where she got up and actually said a few words, she is a quality human.
Oh, good. Get her down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come
She's
to
beautiful.
Iconic.
So that was my experience there, and it was all positive and all wonderful.
So if anybody gets the chance, absolutely, it's a on your top 5 of
absolutely
call into Gracie University, California.
100%.
All right. So where else did you go?
So the first session we went to, we visited Kleber Jiu-Jitsu at Huntington Beach. Kleber is like a world champion. Very, very close to the Gracies also. Grant has trained with him a few times. Beautiful, smaller gym. Blue, clean, again, just lovely, welcoming. We went to a day class, so it was quiet. And he was saying to us that we should come back to a night class that started at 6, but traffic's really bad and we would probably need to leave Torrance at about 2 to get there at 6.
Oh,
and we were
God.
like,
No.
probably not going to happen.
Thank you. Anyway, traffic, I will say traffic through LA is a fucking nightmare.
And
And
isn't
especially-
it wild having like a freeway that's got like 7 or 8 lanes?
Yeah, but also their fast lane is the opposite to our fast lane.
Yes.
And because we're on the opposite side of the car. So, it's a challenge at the best of times. And I do most of the driving when we're in America because I'm a control freak and I can't sit in the passenger seat without going, oh. And Matt doesn't like that. So I drive. LA, I literally close my eyes and hope for the best.
Oh, goodness.
Pedal to the metal
Okay.
and off we go.
Please remind me not to go over there with you and have you drive.
Not literally, but
You just said literally.
I meant metaphorically. Like I just literally forward, go. I don't care. And if anybody hits me, it's their fault.
You know, one thing I did notice about American traffic was that I found that everyone was so much more considerate and giving.
Yeah, because there's, 306 million people in America. We have 26 million people in all of Australia. If you took every single human off our island, you don't feel Texas.
No, I know. So why are we so much more aggressive in our driving?
Well, it's like the single child, right? Why is an only child, present company excluded? I just realised what I was about to say.
I am an only child. Go on.
But a lot of the time, there's this saying around, oh, it's an only child, spoiled, blah, blah, blah. There's so few of us that we all just think that we're right.
Right.
Whereas in America, there's so many that you have to pull your head in or you get shot.
I was going to say, someone gave me a perspective and went, well, you don't know who's carrying. So
Yeah,
there's
that's
no road rage over there because you don't know who you're going to come across. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I haven't thought of it that way.
Mind you, we need to start pulling our heads in this country too because most people are carrying knives now. So,
I don't know. Knife, yeah. Actually, there hasn't been a knife incident recently, so let's hope for the best. Knock on wood. Driving was fun, but
Did you drive?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
It took me to halfway through the second week before I was like comfortable being in the driver's side of the car on the wrong side of the road with Grant driving. And not that I doubted his driving at all because he's a great driver and he's driven in America a lot. But my comfortability, if that's a word, being in this weird sort of position and just having so many cars around and being on these freeways all the time, it was like, I tried really hard not to be like the wife that went.
Yeah, and I am that wife, and it's not because Matt can't drive in America. He can. When we were hitting snow and everything, that just takes me on my next level of uncomfort.
Yeah,
and so I hand the reins back to him because I know he can drive through all that.
Yeah,
but just in the day to day, in normal conditions, it is far easier for him to be the casual guy sitting in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
And me driving than it is for either of us in the reverse.
Everyone's happier.
That's it, yeah. And it's nothing to do with his driving. It's more my comfort levels and keeping them contained.
I see Grant likes driving and he's comfortable being behind the wheel, so he was more than happy to do that. And I was very happy to be a passenger princess. So,
who else did you see? Because there's some friends in there
Yes,
too.
there is. So on the Wednesday night, we went to Centerline Jiu-Jitsu, which is our friend Jerry Wetzel's academy.
Did he give you a shirt? Because he's got new shirts out at the moment and they're wonderful, and I'm hoping he gave you one for me because I stole his last shirt.
But I did give him a hug for you.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, so I did that. But I forgot the first time, so I had to go back the second time for the hug. No, we did actually pick up some merch, really cool merch, but that was from one of his black belts who has their own sort of company, and through Grant and I a singlet, like a basketball singlet each, and became Grant's favourite thing to wear for the rest of our holiday trips. So that was really cool. But Jerry actually got us in to teach.
Nice.
So we were able to go and share, do like this kind of mini seminar for his academy. Grant taught a couple of techniques. I taught a couple of my favourite techniques and had a great time. And then Jerry invited us back to the Saturday session, which is a women's only session for me to teach. So I got to do that again on the Saturday morning. So that was, it was really cool.
Nice.
Really, really cool. Really enjoyed that. Really
just
enjoyed
good people through.
Absolutely.
Right?
And of course, when it's friends, it's friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, really awesome.
Oh, nice. Yay. Okay. And
went to Chris Howder's garage, which is next level.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. The room's not huge. Like when you see stuff on social media, I think it makes the garage feel bigger.
Okay.
But it's like a normal 2-car garage.
Yeah.
And it's fully matted, and it's got like artwork all over the walls and the ceiling, and it's got like paraphernalia. Is that what you sort of this kind of stuff like everywhere. And when we arrived, Chris and Melissa were out at their child's soccer match, so they weren't there. But everyone just like, who we didn't know, just made us feel welcome and welcome, come and roll. And there was probably like, I don't know, 25 people there, and probably about 15 of them were black belts. And not just, I was the baby black belt with no stripes.
Yeah.
There were like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th degree black belts on this mat. There was brown belts, there were purple belts. It was just such a high level training experience. It was amazing.
And Chris and Melissa obviously turned up at
They
some stage,
arrived. Chris jumped on. I got around with Chris.
Did you just tap to all the pressure points?
I started off in his half guard. So he pulled bottom half guard, and I tapped within the first 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I did another thing exactly the same, and he got me with exactly the same move, which was like a variation collar choke. And I'm like, I really like that.
Honestly, that dude blows my mind. For everybody that I have ever met in jiu-jitsu in the last, I keep saying 7 years, but I'm pretty sure I've been saying 7 years for 2 years now. But for every single human I have walked this journey and come across and met and befriended, on varying levels, honestly, he's my crush.
Really?
Yeah, he's my absolute crush.
He's amazing.
Because I love pressure.
Yeah.
I was rolling with Matt the other night, right before he tried to knock my head off. And
she's still not over that, Matt.
Traumatized. Dude. I actually think it was maybe in one of the drills we were doing, and it was when Grant was lying down, right, and he was showing you hip bump and then throw them over to take back. And Matt hip bumped me, and I instantly, just with my hips, just boom, straight. You're supposed to go forward to be the good training partner, and I didn't. I just locked down straight with my hips because pressure is such a natural thing for me in my movement. But the very limited time I had with Chris on the mats, he seriously just, it was like fireworks going off in my head, how he could just do pressure with his damn little pinky, let alone anything else in that man's body, and he could centralize it. Like he could just make this one part of his leg crush you.
I will say I was very, very tickled when I was rolling with him, and he said to me, I was like crushed, start again.
Words.
Yeah, I was passing or trying to pass his guard, and he goes, "Ooh, good pressure," and I was like,
Yes. Yeah, see, I'd wig out at that. That'd be,
I kept it all internalized and bottled, but on the inside I was like, "Oh my god, he said I have good pressure."
Yeah, I'd take that. That'd be awesome. Yeah, very much.
But
so.
so I had some amazing roles there, and I was very, very lucky to get great training partners that, you know, understand that you are on holidays, that you are there for a great time, that you are not, you know, trying to, like, I'm not trying to rip their heads off, and they were looked after.
Yeah,
me
you
as
want to
well.
get up and still continue the holiday.
That's right,
the next day.
I still want a good technical rolling.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be like smashed, and so I got really beautiful rolls like that. I got, you know, harder rolls and easier rolls, but everything in between. But, you know, I felt safe 100%,
Which is awesome.
which is amazing.
And that
It's
says
such
a lot
great-
about leadership, right? And it says a lot about the gym owners.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you could walk into the gym, the owners not be there,
Yeah.
and you still be so welcomed onto the mats, which I'm sure would have happened in every single one that you went to.
Yeah.
It just says a lot about, and it's no different to how Iconic continued on for the nearly 3 weeks you guys were away, because we still had people walk in, we still had people come for the first time
Yep.
and do trials and everything like that, and are coming back
Yep.
because of the vibe that has been created by you and Grant and carried on with your members.
And I
your
can't
senior
tell
members.
you how beautiful a place that is to be in as gym owners and coaches.
Yep.
You know, we had a guy come onto the mats last night. It was his trial class. He'd done jiu-jitsu for a couple of months, like a year ago, but his first time at our gym, walked in, and he's sitting there on the side of the mats, and I've come up to him. I'm going, "How are you going?" He goes, "Oh, good. I'm just having a breather." I went, "Oh, that's all right. Has everyone looked after you?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, absolutely." And he goes, "And just some feedback for you guys." He goes, "What I've really liked," because he has trained before at another gym for a couple of months. And he said, "What I've really liked here tonight," he goes, "everyone that's rolled with me has then introduced me to the next person and said, this is someone that will really look after you." And he goes, "I've just had such a great night." And I've gone,
That's awesome.
"That's amazing. That's exactly what I hope for, but don't always know if it happens or not." And to hear that feedback was it just was next level awesome.
Yep.
So
Makes a big difference, right?
Absolutely.
And can be the success or failure of the gym too.
Absolutely.
What comes
it's
from
the
top
members
down.
that make it. You
That's
know,
it,
like
yeah.
we can do our best, but if you've got members that are sabotaging you, or and we've had that in the past,
Yeah.
or you know, variances of, but you know, people that are not carrying forth your
values.
values
and your ethos.
culture
Yeah.
and ethos and those sort of things, it can undermine what you're trying to do. So obviously what we've got at the moment is just working so very well.
And also, you know, if you don't have the members following in your suit, that's correct. It can undermine it. But also if you are the owners that aren't of quality ethos or aren't of quality value, then that's also what you're teaching, and that's what your members expect, and therefore will deliver no better.
Absolutely.
So from that regard too, you know, I think it says a lot about top down
Absolutely.
in that regard.
Yep.
Okay, so we've had Chris and we've had Jerry. Who else
Yes.
did you go play with?
So we went to Surf Fight. Mm-hmm. Surf Fight is the one we talked about before, where they did the workout at the end of the rolls.
Yeah.
That's Majid Haig or Haji, or I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, but Majid, Gorilla Hands. If you want to look him up on Instagram, he is renowned for his baseball butt choke.
Okay.
Which is where I got that from. So he's come out to Australia before and did a seminar tour. And when we had him here last time, that's where I learnt that the first time, and now spam it and get it on as many people as I can. But his hands are huge. So if you put your hand up against his, it's like that. Whereas my hands aren't huge, but I still managed to make his baseball bat choke work, which is a testament to the technique. That any size or skill or whatever can make it work.
Can do it.
And Joel Tudor's gym. And Joel Tudor is also a black belt in judo, as well as an American surfing champion, world champion for surfing and stuff like that. So, and jiu-jitsu champion. So he's very well known as well. So it's their gym, and it's really, really cool. Like their gym's probably like the coolest vibe. Okay. So you walk in, it's kind of like very industrial. It's got big like recycled floorboards like that almost look like railroad kind of
sleepers.
Sleepers. Yeah. You go up a few steps into their mat space. I put a video of like the ceiling. The ceiling is covered in surfboards.
Oh, so, I saw that one.
So they've got like rafters and throughout the entire ceiling, it's just rafters with surfboards, all different styles and colours and everything all over the ceiling. They've got a gym downstairs. It's green. It's just funky. It's awesome. Yep. So they had a really cool vibe there. We went and trained there twice in one day. So the daytime session was Majid's class, and then the nighttime session was Joel's class. And we just picked up some absolute gold. Again, it just made to feel so welcome and invited, and had great roles, and what an awesome experience.
Did it meet your expectations?
Exceeded my expectations. Okay. The whole trip did. Yeah. And every academy we went to were just beautiful, technical. It was really cool to see that, you know, our guys and girls at Iconic are on par, if not like, you know, right up there with the best with what we saw across the board. So, yeah, really, really pleased with our experience.
Excited to go back again?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know when that will be. There's no plans for like, next year or anything like that. It's a huge trip. Yep. And not only is it like a long trip, but it's our dollar sucks, right? So it's an expensive trip. So it's much easier for them to come here than it is for us to go the other way. So I don't know when, but I'll be keen to go back again for sure. Yeah.
Excellent.
And then we hit Vegas.
Yes.
So then that was kind of like, you know, Grant loves to train and stay really, really busy. When I have the idea of a holiday, I want to be sipping margaritas next to a pool. Like that's my idea of a holiday. So Vegas was more that. So it was like, we'd wake up in the morning, we'd go downstairs, we'd sit by the pool and sunbake for like 3 hours, and then hop in the pool and hop out and dry off. And then we stayed at a casino, and we sort of like, you know, had a bit of a play on the machines and whatnot. And then saw Lady Gaga, went and saw like my niece who dances for Lady Gaga. That was absolutely amazing. You know, our experiences, every day was a highlight. And I've written all about it on my Instagram, but it was really, really cool.
Yay. It's funny because Matt is always busy, right? Matt sitting still is a no, unless you take him on holidays.
Right.
And when you take him on holidays, and producer Matt, you can jump in here at any time and correct me, but I believe that when we go on holidays, Matt's utopia is like you. Yeah. If he can just sit in the sun somewhere and sunbake, and he'd be good.
I want a cabana boy. I don't even want to get up to go to a bar. No, like, just bring me my drinks.
And he doesn't drink, so it won't matter him what. So as long as he can vape, and over in America, you can, you know, cannabinoid yourself to wherever.
It was so funny because you said to me,
I know.
And Grant said to me, you'll smell California.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't understand what you mean by this. But what do you mean by? And neither of you said to me what the smell was going to be. Until I walked on day one, we went from Santa Monica Pier into Venice Beach. And as I've walked in, I suddenly was like, whoa, there's the smell.
There's that fresh cut grass smell. Not quite. And it's really interesting actually because I found that with Vegas too.
Right.
So the first time we'd hit Vegas, it was very alcohol driven and there was a lot of drunk people and disorderly, and it smelt like the pub, at 9 a.m. when doors are going to shut and you're all getting kicked out. Well, that's what my history was anyway. But when we went back the second time, they had legalized cannabis in Las Vegas.
Right.
And the whole atmosphere changed. And we were talking to Uber drivers and taxi drivers, and they were so for it because people weren't vomiting in their taxis anymore.
Right.
And people being high is a much nicer environment than people being drunk, because drunk really triggers aggression, whereas cannabis, they become couch potatoes and can't throw a punch to save themselves. So it kind of has that
chill out.
Yeah, it's like that real chilled, relaxed vibe. But no, I kept saying to you, go in, check a dispensary or anything over there, because
we
it's just
didn't
wild.
walk into any of them.
It's just wild.
The one thing I would say is that I think across the board, no one rolls as much as what we do at Iconic.
Okay.
So
mind you, upping the ante on the minutes and the timings. Last Monday night went so quick.
I didn't know.
It was all of a sudden over, and he's only bumped it up by a minute per roll.
Yep.
But it's enough to all of a sudden go, where did
so
that
was
hour
actually
go?
another thing we brought back. So yeah, what we noticed was like longer rounds in general, amongst the academies we visited, or just like randomized minutes.
Okay.
And Grant was like, I really like that, because you find you get into a rhythm of that 5 minute. If it's 5 minutes all the time, you get into that rhythm, and then you're looking at the clock going, oh no, I can hold out for another 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But when it's 6 minute rounds or just 7 minute rounds or whatever, then you're training for what's in front of you and not worrying so much about the clock. So that was really cool. That was another thing we brought back.
And so holiday time, I think Matt is very much like you. He just likes, I can't do that. I cannot sit. And for me, I know this sounds really bizarre, but if I'm going on a holiday and you put me in a resort and make me sit for a week by the pool, that's a waste of a week for me. It's like, we're in another country. I'm sure there's shit we could be doing or seeing or da-da-da-da-da. So when we took over to the States, in both of our larger holidays that we've been over there, training was a huge thing for us, because even though we were sightseeing every day and doing stuff, we also had that physical component where we knew we were going to go and work really hard and sleep.
I have to say it was actually really good.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think by the time we'd finished, so we sort of started on the Wednesday. We started on the Wednesday and we trained 8 sessions till the following Monday.
Yep.
So there was a lot of jiu-jitsu, but particularly over the weekends. So we did Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon.
No wonder you had to buy another gi.
By Monday, I was like, I am ready to stop jiu-jitsu now.
Yeah.
Like,
I want a holiday.
And we did 2 sessions on the Monday.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of jiu-jitsu for me. And Grant didn't do the women's empowered thing, obviously. He wouldn't be able to pretend.
No.
Whereas I could.
I'm just trying to picture him pretending to be a female, let alone not do jiu-jitsu.
Well, exactly.
Both are very funny visuals.
He found a punk rock or heavy metal or something gig that he went to while I did that. So, I had like double sessions for 3 or 4 days in a row. Yep. By the end of Monday, I was like, I'm ready for Vegas. Yep. I'm ready to not do jiu-jitsu for a few days. But it actually it gave us somewhere to be and to... rather than just sort of sit around and go, oh, no, we've got the whole day, it kind of forced us into action in those other hours that we weren't training. So we'd go, right, today we've got to go training at this time at this place. So let's do boom, 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 boom. Or let's go to that part of LA or, whatever, and have a look at what's in that area. And so it got us out and about, and we were really busy for that first week. And then...
Did you drive over to Vegas and then drive back to LA? Oh, yeah. That drive's cool. I don't mind that drive.
It's awesome. And in fact, I really loved seeing the difference in landscape.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Seeing it's a lot of dirt.
Yeah. Yes.
A
lot of red dirt too,
which is
in
very
places.
different to what we're used to here in Australia on the East Coast, which is like very green and beaches and waterfalls and all that kind of stuff. But it was just fascinating to see the difference.
Did you think San Diego was a bit like the coast?
We didn't see enough of it.
Okay.
We sort of got to San Diego and we only went down there for the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's where we trained. Sorry, San Diego is where Surf Fight is at.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we went to San Diego Zoo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, we did stay in San Diego. Oh my God, I'm like all over the place. The zoo was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the zoo was really
huge.
incredible.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
on 100 acres. It took us 7 hours.
Yeah.
It's
like going to Dubbo.
The funniest thing that you said before was like everything's big in America. Yeah. We were feeling a bit peckish. We weren't hungry enough for a meal, but we were like we kind of want a snack. So we went up to the food stall that's there at the zoo, and we're like, we'll have some. The thing was like 6 chicken wings and chips. And a banana sundae. And I kind of felt more like the sundae, but was hungry for a wing. And Grant was like more about the savoury and would have a little bit of my sundae. So we're like, we'll share it and that would be a nice snack. Holy moly. What got served up to us would feed a family of 4.
Yeah.
And then some. Like the wings were freaking huge. I don't know what they do to their chickens, but their wings were massive. And it was covered in sauce and cheese and all this, which is a bit too much for me. And a whole bunch of fries. It was like this. It was like huge. And then the sundae was like 2 bananas and like 6 or 8 scoops of ice cream and whipped cream and chocolate sauce and everything. I'm like, neither of us finished the food. And we're like, we can eat.
Yeah. And when you do the currency conversion, it's not expensive over there for what you're getting.
For what you get.
Like you go here and you ask for that kind of thing and you'd be lucky if you get 2 wings and 3 chips.
Yeah.
And you're still paying $25 for it.
Exactly.
You go over there and you're paying $15 and you, like you said, you can feed a family of
4.
and some. All right. So where else did you go?
No, that was it.
It's a pretty good holiday for a 20th anniversary and
Not bad, is it?
pretty good.
Not
pretty
bad.
good. Matthew.
You're already past your 20 years, aren't you? When's your 20-year anniversary, wedding anniversary?
No, our 20-year wedding anniversary is in 2027.
Ah.
Yeah, so we've still got, so we're only 18 years married, but we're 25 years together.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we still got time is where that comes back to.
Yes, you can
basically.
still plan a trip to America.
So tell me, how was it coming back to your gym, your people, first night?
Amazing.
Why?
Because there's no place like home. There is actually no place on earth like home and your people and your space.
Yeah.
We were really lucky. We left, and I don't know how it works, but on the way over, we left on Sunday morning and arrived on Sunday morning.
Yep.
I get that there's a day difference, right? And there's 15 hours on the plane. But coming home, which was another funny story, but coming home, we lost our pilot, so our plane was delayed by a couple of hours. Literally.
I'd love to know what happened to him.
It's so
That's gonna
interesting
bug me now
because
forever.
I reckon, like, little things like that, I don't reckon that you would be in an Australian airport and they would announce,
No.
we are late because we cannot find the pilot.
No.
They would come up with some other something.
They'd lie to us is what you're
smooth
basically
over.
saying.
Yeah, they would absolutely lie
to us.
to cover
Yes.
that, right?
Yep.
But over there, like the people, the airline hostesses or hosts or whatever they're called, they were chuckling as they're going, we've lost our pilot, so we're going to be delayed by a couple of hours. We're trying to find another one. And then we lost one of the 2 pilots. The first pilot came on and said, so we've been lucky to find another pilot, but he lives an hour and a half away. So we're just waiting for him to get through LA traffic. Like going
Holy
into
shit.
detail.
Hey, you can't argue the honesty. That works for
Absolutely
me.
not. I'm
That's
like,
okay,
I'm
cool,
all for
thank you.
it.
Give me the updates.
It gave us
Yep.
a chuckle. At least you're not sitting there going, what the hell is going on?
No, but you know what? Like, because of my little brain and the way it processes, you told me the day you're coming, they've lost our pilot, Kaz, in a text message. I still want to know where the damn pilot is.
Did they ever find him?
I know. So,
But did he end up on another plane?
I want full transparency. I want full honesty. I want the whole story.
I don't think they knew. They
Like, wonder if they
we have a
found
missing
him.
pilot. But yeah, so when we left Sunday night and arrived Tuesday morning. So we were able to sleep on the plane and we went from night to morning. So it kind of like we were straight back into the rhythm of it. Yeah. By that evening, we came in and we had Grant's brother Jay take the class, which was really good because it meant that we could come in and be part of it, but we didn't have to think, right? And Jay taught. I did the class with Grant. It was really nice that we could train together. That was actually a really nice part of being away too, that we got to train together.
And just be students.
Yeah, and be partners, that was really cool. But by the end of the hour, I'm sitting there and my eyes are starting to get heavy. Yep. And Grant's like, go home, cook dinner. I'll stay and roll because he had more energy to do that. And he was like, and then when I get home, we can just eat, go to bed.
Yeah.
So we were in bed like 9:30 that night, which we never do. We're eating dinner at 9:30 most nights. So we were in bed at 9:30, lights out, asleep, and I woke up at like 7:30 the next day. So it literally was straight back into the rhythm of it.
It was funny because Matt come home. I wasn't in training on the Tuesday
night.
I
know. Why not?
I was
like, this is my first night back. Where
is she?
I couldn't believe you stayed away. Oh, now I know.
You're probably lucky. I was not well.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And so he came home and I went, how are they? He's like, yeah, good. He said they were good. They were training. And then you just watch Rach go,
yeah, my battery.
I've got to go home now.
My battery just ran out.
Yeah. And Matt said he just watched you just, yeah, I'm going home now.
Yeah, pretty much.
But everybody was super excited to have mum and dad back. And it's really funny. I do have to say, like, a lot of the time you put cameras up in the gym not long before you left, right?
Yeah.
And everybody now knows about the cameras in there and they all do little dances and everything to try and get on camera. But it was really funny because the home suite, the Google suite thing, when they start recording, they go green. Right. And so every time somebody would see the cameras going green, they'd be waving. Like, we all thought you were coming. You guys were online just watching us. They're like, eee.
We did actually get online a couple of times during classes, and it was just awesome to be able to like speak to you guys through the camera and go, hello, we're here. We can see you. We miss you in spirit.
And then Connor was coming up to me at one point and was like, Mum said you got to stop doing this, or Mum said you got, and I'm like, what? And so I've looked over at the camera
and you've given me the finger.
I know, I've given you the two birds.
So rude. I would never do that to you, Kaz.
I know. That's why you're the nice one and I'm not. And we've well established that. As the angel and the devil. You choose.
I'm a little bit devil.
I'm learning that. Yeah, it's the yin and yang, right?
Yeah,
it works.
Totally.
That's why we work. So overall, out of 10, how would you rate your holiday in America?
10 out of 10.
Excellent.
It was beautiful. It was wonderful. The last time that Grant and I had been away, significant amount of time, was for our 10-year anniversary.
Oh, cool.
And we went to Bali for 10 days and it was just the two of us. And that's the longest I've ever been away from the boys.
Yep.
Then I think we went on like a couple of nights away.
So they were like 9 and 7 then.
Yeah, they were young and we really missed them. And we didn't miss, actually really could have stayed and lived in Bali for the rest of my life. Like I love Bali. All I wanted to do is ship the boys on a plane over to us. I didn't want to come home, but I wanted to bring the boys to us.
Yep.
So that was really, really cool. And then for 15 days away with him for our 20-year anniversary. It's the longest I've been away from the boys ever in my life. It's the longest we've been away from the academy. So we've gone on family holidays with the four of us, but never for more than like a week and a half or something like that. So
nearly 3 weeks was a big undertaking.
It was.
How nervous were you walking away from your business?
So part of it was not nervous at all because we were leaving Connor and Flynn in like fairly in charge of across the board. Connor's 19, Flynn's now 17. So we kind of knew that, okay, family is there, right? But also knowing that we have the community of black belts that we do and the coaches that we have and the people that care about Iconic as much as what we do. Like knowing that you and Matt were there on those mats looking after classes. You were teaching the ladies classes. Matt had, you know, a couple of classes, or the Monday nights and the veterans class and this and that. But that you guys would be there. Do you know what I mean? Like you were like that beautiful substitute mama and daddy bear that was standing on the mats. We have other coaches. We have, you know, Grant's brother Jay looking after classes, and other black belts and brown belts looking after classes, who all just are as passionate about making sure culture is upheld, everyone has a great time, everyone's welcome and made to feel as if nothing much has changed. That was beautiful.
And we still, because we obviously our routines didn't change, but the coaches that were delivering our classes that we normally go to had all changed, obviously.
Yep.
And it was amazing. They were amazing classes. The feedback that people were giving based on the classes was amazing too.
Yep.
And you want that, right? Because if you're a coach and it's not your normal, or even if it is, feedback's important.
Yep.
Knowing that you're hitting the mark, knowing that people are enjoying it, they're not just turning up and doing it.
Yep.
They're actually enjoying it and getting something out of it. And your members aren't afraid to come up and go, awesome class, thanks so much for that, that was great, or come up and have a comment later, or put something in the WhatsApp chat group and all the rest of it, which is phenomenal.
Yep.
Because every class we went to, it was a great delivery.
And not only that, but we could see numbers. We know historically that when mummy and daddy go away, numbers drop. We'll go, oh, here's an opportunity to have a week off and no one's going to know, or you know, Grant and Rach aren't teaching, so I won't go tonight.
Yeah.
But numbers didn't really drop across the board.
And it was school holidays too, and numbers drop quite significantly in school holidays.
Yep.
People go away and all the rest of it. And yeah, no, I'll agree to that too, because, you know, we were there quite a lot and they were still good classes. They were still big classes. So no, it was good. You know, and that's got to be humbling to know that you can leave.
Yes.
And it is in good hands, and you come back and it's still exactly the same.
Absolutely.
As how you left. So,
absolutely.
You know, hats off. And hats off to everybody who stepped up through that period too, to go out and about and get it done. But I'm so pleased. I was so excited for you leading into this holiday.
I know.
I knew it was a big thing. It's a big thing going to a country you've never been to.
Yep.
The opportunity to meet some amazing people and play in their space.
Yes.
You know, it's one thing to have someone come here for a seminar, but to actually go into their space and be a part of it, I think, you know, I think that would be even more special in that regard too. So, yeah, I'm pleased that it worked and it was awesome and it was amazing. And I don't really think you've stopped smiling since you've come home. So.
Oh, well, that's good.
So it's been phenomenal. And we've got some big things coming up.
We do.
I hear your husband's coming back to chat with us again soon.
Yeah, he was dropping hints last night to me. He's like, well, I'm off for the next few weeks.
Got to be time soon. So we're going to organise that pretty soon, and we're going to get the boys back on for a bit of a chat about some stuff too, but we'll keep that secret squirrel for now.
Yes. We're going to have Marie and Xavier Sales come on to the podcast.
We're going to invite them, and I'm hoping that they're listening because I haven't sent the invitation to them yet, so we just told them.
I reached out yesterday and I said,
did you? Okay.
You'll be getting an email. And yeah, she was very excited and was like, yes, we'd be honoured. And I'm like, okay, so
perfect.
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal. Excellent. All right, I'll get that sorted out and sent away. So that's really cool. What else? What else is happening?
I don't know.
That's pretty much
is there
it for
anything
the moment.
else that
I
you
can't
can
remember.
think of?
I can't remember. No, I don't think so. I think that's it. I've got a couple of other people that we're talking to at the moment. So there'll be some pretty big guests coming on over the next few months coming through and rotating in. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
Thank you to everybody in America who hosted you guys while you're over there. Hopefully they're listening, and
we'll tag them in.
We'll tag them in
to
the episode as well. For anyone in Australia or any of the other countries that hasn't gone and done jiu-jitsu in America, I think it's safe that I'm speaking for both of us when I say if you get the opportunity, do it.
Absolutely.
Because for all the schools that we've been through and now all the schools that you guys have been through, there's not really a bad scenario, a bad experience. So if you love jiu-jitsu and you love traveling, put America on your box and go and tick. And to anybody that was over there, come on over.
Yeah.
Come and have a holiday in Australia. Come and train with us.
I met some beautiful people.
Yeah.
And, you know, people that I now follow on Instagram and who follow me. And you just make connections and stuff for life, don't you?
Absolutely.
It's really awesome. Yeah. The community is special.
Yeah.
The jiu-jitsu community as a whole across the world, I think, is just special. We all love this weird, special thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just unites us all in that. We've got far more in common than what we do not.
And what we don't. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it brings a irrelevant of your background, walk of life and experience, somewhere in there you're still like-minded people.
100%. All trying to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be.
Most days. Other days I'm just a rat bag.
I guess that would be my hope.
Well, now you have to say it again. All right, my love, what's your hope?
My hope is, like, when you have the opportunity to travel, put training into your list of things to do, because when you travel as long as you make sure that you veto or get recommendations and all the places that we went to, we have connections to, or Grant has visited before, or we know the people, right? The connections that you make, the experiences that you have, and the jiu-jitsu you pick up, every single place that we went to, we got a gem.
Yeah.
Like an absolute gem, gold, that we hadn't thought of it in that way, or the way they presented it or taught it was slightly different to what we'd experienced before. And we were like, wow, that's awesome.
And that's saying something. You know, for anybody, when we travelled, Matt was purple or brown and I was blue. And you know, for us to take away learnings, it would be expected, right?
Yeah.
But it's pretty big coming from two black belts that have been in the sector. And I'm not saying that black belts don't learn. Of course you do, and there's always new stuff. But to come away from every single session, picking up a nugget and getting something new and learning, again, I think that says a lot about this space and the people in it.
Absolutely. So highly recommend, you know, if you train jiu-jitsu, which you would be doing by listening to our podcast.
Otherwise, you just got fantasies about us.
Yeah, it would be weird. Please let us know if you don't train and you listen to us. Maybe you just like our comedy. Actually, I was looking on our podcast the other day on Spotify, and there's like tags that you can put. We need to add comedy to it, I reckon.
Well, we make ourselves laugh a lot. That'll do.
Surely we make other people laugh too. Otherwise, it'd be really weird if we didn't, and they're still listening to us. But yeah, no, do make sure you do it. And if you ever train, come over to Australia, and you're anywhere near Sydney, do a little trip up to the Central Coast. Come and visit us at Iconic. We've got someone who listens to our podcast, who is from America, who has reached out to us before and didn't make their trip happen, but then reached out to me recently in the last couple of weeks saying, we are finally coming out and we're going to come and train at Iconic.
Who?
So I can't. Okay. Don't make me say, but I will say next episode. But has reached out to us, and we've had this conversation back and forth, and will be training with us with one of his daughters. So that would be really, really cool.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my hope is that, look, I am a huge advocate for travel. I try and convince all my children when they've got the opportunities to pack a bag and just go. I'm a gypsy at heart. So any opportunity you have to pack a bag and go and experience something different, I'm all for it. I know times are hard, so not a lot of people can do that. But even if you're not going to different countries, I take huge delight in even traveling around Australia and going to different gyms because I like meeting different people, and I find that in a sea of 30, I'm going to at least gel with one. Mm. And I love that. I love finding my people near and far. And this gentle art has afforded me a lot of really special people in my world moving forward. And, you know, I think there's a lot of neurodivergent people in this space. And I think by and large, a part of being neurodivergent is struggling to find acceptance and people. And this sport has afforded both of that for me. So I think if you get the opportunity to go and train in other places, please take it. That's my hope. My hope would be that you put yourself out there and go and experience it. I know it can be nerve-wracking, and I know it could be very daunting and overwhelming. I think pushing through that allows you the opportunity to meet some really special people that you won't get the opportunity to meet if you don't push through.
100%.
So that's my hope. Get out there and visit other gyms.
Love it. I love it when we have people come and visit Iconic that are like, I haven't trained with you guys before, but I'm traveling to the area, but my friend such and such has trained with you and told me that I've got to come and train at Iconic. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like the connections that you make, and these are friendships that are formed years into the making, because we know this is not just a seasonal thing. You're not just like one and done.
Yep.
If you're in jiu-jitsu, you're in this like for life often. And so we have connections with people that we've met, and then we've re-met a year later, and then we've re-met again at a camp, or we've re-met, and now these beautiful friendships that sort of develop from this. Yeah. So it's such a huge thing, and if it's just technique alone, you're going to pick up awesome things, but it's the people.
That's it. Some of the closest friends in our world that we regard as family that live in America, we've met through jiu-jitsu. And we didn't know anybody when we first went over there for the first big trip. We didn't know a single soul. We just plotted out a whole bunch of gyms that, were in our pathway.
Yep.
And we were really fortunate. We tin-assed it every single time, and, no fucktards along the way. I just had to get one in, sorry. Righto.
I have to say, the last couple of episodes has been like you've just slipped it in there at the end.
And right at the very end. I've got through the whole episode without it.
It hasn't come naturally. It's been like
because we haven't been talking about fucktards, so there's no need for it. We've only been talking about good people. So there you go. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back. Thanks for letting me debrief my holiday and get it out there. Awesome. It was really, really cool. Thanks for listening at home. If you liked what you heard today, please like, share, subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard today, don't worry. We don't do these episodes too often. So I won't be going on another trip in the near future.
What was it? 10 years and 20 years.
10 years and 20 years. So 30 years we've decided is going to be probably Europe.
Yeah.
You won't have to hear about it again for a while.
So you're all going to have to stick around for another 10 years so we can debrief on Europe. Excellent. All right.
Until then, until next week.
See you, honey.
Bye.
Thanks for coming. Bye, guys.
This podcast is a My Broken Soldier production.
And brought to you by Iconic Jiu-Jitsu.